When an emergency occurs, a ship's crew needs to swing into action immediately, working as a tight team, well-trained, confident and efficient in whatever role they play. That is why regular drills are so important. This program will cover how to plan, prepare and design a drill that is both realistic and safe, how to run it efficiently and how to observe it. It will explain the importance of a debrief and how lessons learned can be used to improve shipboard procedures. Upon completion of this program, you will know how the general principles covered in this video can be applied to holding effective drills on board your ship. There is a fundamental difference between what is training and what are drills. Onboard training may be defined as the systematic acquisition of skills and knowledge necessary to maintain or achieve the required performance standard. Drills are an effective method of measuring the impact of training. If a drill performance does not meet the required standard, one of the solutions is to give further training to the personnel involved. The purpose of drills is to prevent injury and loss of life, encourage continuous improvement, and protect the vessel and the environment. The best drills are exciting and stimulating, the time when crew can turn all that they've learnt in their training into action. Realistic drills help sharpen teamwork and avoid confusion and panic in a real emergency. They enable everyone to become better at their tasks, so that when their skills are really put to the test, they will act efficiently, calmly, and safely. With all drills, everyone must know their role. Their safety and that of their crewmates and passengers depends on it. Safety first must always be the rule. All ships are different, and the specialist skills required on board will vary from a ferry to a bulk carrier. But when it comes to drills, almost all ships trading internationally must follow international regulations, most importantly, SOLAS. Some familiar drills would be fire. Fire drills involve all members of the crew, whether deck, engine, or catering. Many skills are tested, including command and control, teamwork, use of safety equipment, pump management, and evacuation. Enclosed spaces. This drill will normally test for the use of PPE, communication equipment, atmospheric testing equipment, rescue techniques, and first aid. Recovery of persons from the water. When someone is lost overboard, crew must be able to react quickly and efficiently, raise the alarm, mark the position of the casualty, lower and operate a rescue craft, crane or retrieval equipment. The bridge and engine room need to engage in the correct maneuvers. Shipping casualty emergency response. Should an emergency, such as collision or grounding, occur, those on board will experience extreme stress. To assist personnel, many operators and owners will have an emergency plan specifically designed for each ship, and this will be used when conducting a drill. Abandoned ship. A regular drill for crew should be held at least monthly. It's vital that all those on board recognize the alarm signals, carry the correct survival gear, know exactly where their muster point is, and how to follow commands when entering lifeboats. Crew must know how to operate machinery and appliances safely, including recovery of lifeboats. Security. The International Ship and Port Facility Security (ISPS) code requires onboard drills to be carried out at regular intervals to test for individual elements of the Ship Security Plan (SSP). Full-scale exercises or tabletop simulations must also be organised each year, involving the Company Security Officer (CSO). Lifeboats. There are two main types of lifeboat requiring drills: freefall and davit-launched. The freefall launch or simulated launch must be carried out at intervals of no more than 6 months. Davit-launched lifeboat drills, involving lowering and manoeuvring the lifeboat in the water, should be carried out every 3 months, unless otherwise allowed by the Flag Administration. The main aim of the drill is to ensure that crew will be able to safely embark, launch and disembark the lifeboat in an emergency. Lifeboat drills are a major cause of accidents on board, and it is vital that everyone is confident about their role in the process. Every vessel is different, and some crew may be joining from a completely different ship type, facing unfamiliar layouts, cargo requirements, even propulsion systems. Drills must be part of their familiarization training on joining the ship. Here are 3 key points to remember from this part. Drills help you measure the impact of training. Where crew performance doesn't meet required standards in a drill, further training may be required. Make drills exciting and realistic. Crew learn best when they can put their training into action. Always put the safety of everyone involved in the drill first. This must also include the vessel, its cargo, and the environment. Drills should be planned carefully and be based on the specific circumstances on board. Training needs should be identified and target outcomes agreed. In this example, the master is planning a fire drill to be carried out while in port, simulating a fire in the steering gear room.
Thanks for the meeting. We will finalize tomorrow and see you tomorrow again.
Drills also need to be planned to minimize any disturbance to rest periods and must certainly not cause fatigue. Each drill should be planned to ensure that on a rotational basis, all safety equipment is used and all necessary training in its use has been completed.
The fire alarm has been activated in the forepeak.
Each member of the crew must be familiar with their duties and use of relevant equipment and life-saving appliances. Crew must have access to all training manuals, the muster list, and plans associated with emergency response procedures.
Exactly where it is, in which cabin, and we can do a PA announcement.
Every drill requires its own specific risk assessment, and before any drill commences, regular inspections of all relevant safety, PPE, and emergency equipment must be carried out. Fire hose connections and valves must always be well maintained and fit for purpose. Breathing apparatus, BA sets, fire suits, firefighting and other personal protective equipment, PPE, should be kept clean, calibrated as necessary, and maintained ready for use at all times. The design of a drill is crucial. Ask yourself, what do you want to get out of it? A drill must never follow a regular pattern, so changing the scenario is important if you want to keep drills fresh and realistic. It should present challenges that may be unfamiliar to crew members and reveal any weaknesses in team performance. It's important that the crew feels that the drill is real. In a fire drill, the crew need to understand that it won't simply be a fire they're dealing with. There's going to be confusion, fear, possibly panic. To make the scenario seem more real, certain adaptations could be employed, such as reducing visibility by switching off the lights, using a smoke generator to replicate fire, changing charged bottles for empty bottles on self-contained breathing apparatus to practice dealing with unexpected emergencies. Consider removing a key member of the team at a crucial stage of the drill. This will reveal how well they can react to change and who steps in to take command. Additional things to remember when you plan drills. Not everyone in the crew will have the same levels of experience, skills, or confidence. There may be many different languages on board. Don't assume that everyone will understand commands, especially when under stress. Identify who is good at doing what and use their strengths. Include feedback from your reviews of previous drills. Are there any areas that need special attention? Remember that in all drills, safety must come first. Practical, hands-on experience is the object, not risk-taking. With the design of the drill in place, the next stage is preparation. The officers and crew are usually organized into different teams to perform specific duties. How many teams there are and how many people are in each one will depend on the type of ship and size of the crew. Then there must be assignments of responsibility within each team. Who will be the team leaders? What equipment and machinery will be required? Have all security measures been put in place? And have all shoreside authorities, agents, and ship managers been informed of the drill? Remember 3 key points from this part. When planning a drill, think about what is being tested and define target outcomes. Change scenarios and introduce new challenges to make a drill more realistic. Make sure all preparations are in place. A crucial part of this is risk assessment. The drill begins with an announcement to the ship's crew that a fire drill is about to commence.
Attention all crew, this is a drill. All crew.
Right from the start, command, control, and coordination must be firmly established. Typically, the master has the coordinating role in the command center, which is normally on the bridge or at some other safe place, from which the engines can be controlled if the bridge is out of action. The alarm is sounded. As the drill gets underway, the various teams are sent to their stations. The team should be kept together as units. Each one has specific duties. Wherever possible, members should be chosen on experience, physical condition, and any specialist knowledge or training. One purpose of the drill is to establish that all crew are familiar with the various alarm systems and sounds on board ship. They must know the location of emergency telephones and how to report to the bridge if radios are not available. They must also know where to muster and the quickest route to the muster point. They must know where key equipment is located, like BA sets, protective clothing, and so on, and what personal protective equipment they will need for their duties within the team. On mustering, a roll call must be taken. It is essential that all names are checked off as soon as possible. Although the drill is designed to be as realistic as possible, it should not be rushed. Putting time pressure on the crew is more likely to result in stress and frustration. Regular practice will improve the efficiency and confidence in performing the tasks. During the drill, an officer will observe the drill and make notes on it. Perhaps even still photographs and video will be used. These form part of the recording and logging of the drill, as well as providing valuable evidence that will be used to plan future training. Evaluating the drill is mandatory. Also, these records may need to be verified by port state inspectors or other regional authorities, so accuracy is important.
All crew, this is the fire drill, proceed to the muster station. All crew proceed to the muster station.
A solid command structure and good leadership is essential to give everyone confidence and retain a sense of calm. Communication with the command center is constantly maintained with regular updates. Make sure that drills are held in the common language of the vessel to train vocabulary and build confidence. In a real emergency and when panicked, people will often use their own language, which could be disastrous.
Charge of fire, over. Thank you, Chief. Continue boundary calling.
On the bridge,
and keep
the master
both
gets the
firewalls.
all clear. The fire has been extinguished. The announcement is made throughout the ship that the drill is now completed.
Attention all crew.
All
Attention
gear
crew.
involved in the drill must now be checked and put back in place, ready for the next drill or real emergency. 3 key points to remember from this part. Good leadership is essential to give crew confidence, and command, control and coordination must be established at the start of the drill. Don't rush drills. Avoid frustration and stress and build confidence instead. Recording and evaluating a drill is mandatory. It also provides evidence that can be used for planning future training. The drill may be over, but the work isn't. The follow-up debrief is a vital part of an effective drill. It's a time when the drill can be looked at for strengths, weaknesses, and potential failings. Its great value is that it reveals any flaws in the system, areas where further training is required, the motivation level of the crew, and even potential leadership skills. At the start of the meeting, invite all ranks to discuss what went well or not so well during the drill and why. Perhaps show photographic or video evidence to flag up issues. This is the opportunity to discuss honestly and freely what could have been done better and why. It's important that crew members should not be afraid to make comments, suggestions, or ask questions. It's advisable to look at records of the last drill to see if you're doing things better, and if not, why not. Ensure that everyone understands that it's better to make a mistake in a drill than in a real emergency. The master will then draft an evaluation report that will be available for all to study. Make and keep records while things are still fresh in your mind. The lessons learned in a drill will be applied to subsequent exercises and also fed back to the fleet to be used in the company training policy. Key points to remember from this part. During the debrief, everyone should be encouraged to voice their opinions and to ask any questions openly and freely. Use the debrief to identify flaws in the system and make corrections as soon as possible. Compare with logs of previous drills so everyone can see progress or the need for further improvement. Shipboard drills are far more than a statutory requirement. They are in place to prevent injury, save lives, and to protect the vessel and the environment. They will ensure that the vessel complies with statutory and port state control requirements. Key points to remember are: drills should cover all types of emergency, ensuring that officers and crew are familiar with all safety equipment. Drills need to be realistic and challenging, approaching emergency conditions as closely as possible while always remaining safe. Risk assessments and equipment checks must be conducted before any drill. Drills must have a good team and command structure in place. They should apply the 3 C's: command, control, and coordination. If necessary, pause a drill to discuss specific points. All drills should include an unexpected element that tests the crew's ability to respond, reflecting what could happen in a real emergency. Drills reveal strengths and weaknesses and show where improvements can be made. All lessons learned can then be applied to improve training and future drills on board. They should also be passed on to the company for use in their training policy.